Welcome back. This is video 10. In this video, I want to talk more about some briefing blunders. I want to share 4 lessons I learned from a writing gig that didn't go quite the way I wanted it to. So what happened? I missed the mark on a writing gig. I didn't quite write according to the format that was needed, and the content was a little bit off the mark. I kind of went into it with an attitude of, I can do this, I can handle this for you, I've got this. But I think that came from a part of me that was a bit more desperate for work and collaboration with anyone. And I think it impacted the way I showed up, and I also just wanted to make a good impression. I think where my main blunder came in is I didn't ask enough questions before the call, during the call, and after the call. I just went ahead as if I had it all under control. But I think sometimes that's not always the best way to go about things. I think with thorough planning and organizing, we can show up with an attitude like that, but we must be willing to back that attitude. We must be willing to believe in ourselves and our skills enough to know that we can actually show up with an attitude like that. There's many levels to it though, and maybe just practicing awareness of where we're at and how we are showing up will help. These experiences are part of the process. In the end, they help us to learn from them and to become better writers and freelancers. The key thing is, though, that we have to show up with a willingness to learn from the mistakes or from the blunders. We have to have a willingness to reflect on them, to find the lessons. I think if we don't do that, if we don't have that growth mindset, then we might end up making the same mistakes again. That experience made me more aware of planning, organizing, asking questions, and understanding what is being asked of you as a freelancer. Understanding the topic, understanding the client, understanding the format of the work. What type of format is it? What type of writing do you have to do? Okay, so here are 4 lessons that I learned from that experience. Let's get into it. Lesson 1: ask enough questions. This is really important. I think even before you have that call with the client or the agency that works with the client, compile a set of questions that you would like to ask. And during the call, ask questions during the call. And after the call, reflect on the call, and then also think, okay, what questions did I miss? Do I need to ask any new questions? And just pop them an email asking the necessary questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because the questions help us to understand, they help us gain more information so that we can ultimately write better and provide good service. Lesson 2: brainstorm. Brainstorm the layout, the format, how you would like the piece to flow. What do you want to include? What will your introduction be? What will the body of the text be? What will the conclusion be? And then make explanatory notes next to it and explain why you want to do it like that, and leave a section open for the agency or for the client to make their notes as well. Once you've brainstormed the layout and the format a bit more, send that off to the client or the agency just for them to check it. Just for them to see, okay, this is the idea. Do we need to add anything in here? Do we need to make any changes here? Just so that you know that you are on track from the beginning, even way before you start writing the actual piece. Lesson 3: sending in the first draft. So the first draft is not the final written work. The first draft you send in to check that you are on track. Don't treat the first draft as the final project that you send in, because if it's not on track, if you miss the mark somewhere in the first draft and you send it in as, here's the final piece, without having checked with the client or the agency, and they receive it, it might be a surprise for them. It might be disappointing, and it will lead to more corrections. It would lead to you probably having to rewrite a whole bunch of stuff. Save time by sending in the first draft as early as you can, just to double check that you are on track. And if anyone wants to make any changes or add anything in, then there is enough time and you can play with the content. Lesson number 4, research and educate. Always do proper research and educate yourself about the format. If the format isn't quite what you are used to writing, say you are used to writing long form articles, and the format for the gig is a LinkedIn article or a press release, the format will be different. The way you write will be different. The tone, the sound of the whole piece will be different. And the depth that you go into as well will be different. If you're doing something that's different to what you are used to, it's even more important that you do the necessary research and education so that you can know that you are on the mark. So the question really is to ask yourself, what does the format require of me? Often these blunders or mistakes we make, they lead to areas where we need more skill development. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think mistakes happen and we need to learn the lessons. It's part of the freelancing process, it's part of the writing process. It's important for us to be aware of where we need to improve and up level in our skills. Where are our weaknesses and where are our strengths? Mistakes happen and sometimes they can be really disappointing. We might lose the client, they probably won't call on us again. It can lead to disappointment, but I think these blunders ultimately nudge us in the right direction. They show us where our weaknesses are, they show us where we need to up level our skills. And if we have that willingness to reflect and learn, we will become better writers. It will help us improve and gain new clients and new work where we will actually feel confident in our skills and abilities to approach it with the I can handle this, I've got this attitude. So I would love to hear from you. Is this something you've experienced as well? Have you made some briefing blunders before, and how did you correct them? How did you learn from them? How did you navigate them as a writer or even a freelancer if you're in a different industry? As always, thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.